Imagine feeling like you've lost all power. Your students think you're outdated, your daughter is in rebellion, your husband doesn't desire you anymore, and in front of you, a man is chained to a chair in nothing but his underwear. This is Vladimir, 2026, a dark comedy, a suspenseful thriller, and a twisted story about desire, control, and obsession. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll see just how far someone will go to reclaim their life and what happens when fantasy and reality blur into chaos. The film opens with M, our protagonist, smoking in her secluded cabin. She speaks directly to us, the audience, breaking the fourth wall, a stylistic choice that immediately immerses us in her mind. She confesses her frustrations. She feels powerless. Her students see her as old-fashioned, her rebellious daughter Sid barely talks to her, and her husband John, a womanizing professor, has stopped finding her attractive. And then, the first shock. Chained to a chair in the cabin is a man. The camera slowly reveals him. This is Vladimir, the man who will ignite desire, chaos, and obsession. Flashback 6 weeks earlier, M is at the grocery store picking up ingredients for her signature salad for the 30th faculty retreat, and, surprise, Vladimir is there too. Their eyes meet, sparks fly, a subtle prelude to the tension to come. At the retreat, M is acutely aware of the faculty gossip. John has been suspended for sleeping with 6 students. She reflects wistfully, admitting that she too fantasized about her professors, but never acted. Shyness held her back. To assert control, she brings her salad, claiming it's a hit. There, she encounters Vladimir again, the charming new assistant professor. Banter and chemistry ignite immediately. But just as tension peaks, Cynthia, his beautiful wife and fellow professor, appears. She's a fan of M's novel, and M can't help but feel envy and jealousy at this perfect couple replacing her and John. Even as colleagues gossip about her, pitying her, M's attention is on the young women who reported John. She openly defends affairs with power imbalances, calling them half the fun. And yes, she has an open marriage with John, and she's had her own affair with a colleague named David. Dinner at home is chaotic. John flirts with her, she's uninterested. They bicker, neither taking the other seriously. This is 6 weeks before the infamous chains in cabin. M is caught between desire, jealousy, and control. The next day, M's life gets more complicated. Vladimir shows up at her office. She acts coy, hiding her growing attraction. Meanwhile, her daughter Sid reveals personal turmoil, leading to tense mother-daughter dynamics. M's obsession with control manifests in increasingly bold ways. At the bakery, she confronts a former student she failed, a reminder of her past power and mistakes. Back home, family tension continues at dinner. She brings up John's scandals, Sid storms off, and M kicks John out in frustration. Alone, she fantasizes about Vladimir, listening to his interviews online. The following morning, the flood of texts begins, concerned friends, gossiping students, but before she can process, Vladimir arrives for cocktails. From this point, M's desires take over. There's a montage of sexual tension, flirtation, and fantasy that blurs reality. Through it all, M remains unreliable. Her narration is a mix of deadpan humor and self-serving rationalizations. She claims to be calm about John's scandal, yet every glance, every flirtation with Vladimir betrays her obsession. As the series progresses, M navigates the minefield of college politics. Her students, colleagues, and John's past misdeeds collide in a tangled web of ethics, lust, and ambition. Less than half her students enroll in her class. Favorite student Edwina abandons her for Cynthia's class. M manipulates her colleague David to protect her secrets. Vladimir flirts subtly, driving M's obsession, but she's not naive. She knows desire is a double-edged sword. Her fantasies become vivid montages, sexual encounters with Vladimir, imagined scenarios in the college bathroom, and intimate moments that never actually happen but feel real to M. M also attempts to help or control the outcomes of other faculty members and students' lives, like Leela, a student caught in a scholarship controversy. Here, the film explores the blurred lines between mentorship, manipulation, and revenge. By episode 4, M's world spirals further. She discovers Vladimir's swimming trunks and hides them, fantasizing about him. Leela accuses her of retaliation, turning M into the college's liability. Meanwhile, John's casual affairs contrast sharply with M's obsessive control. M steals skincare and pills from Lynn, a morally ambiguous administrator, and uses them to manipulate Vladimir, keeping him around for her own purposes. Episode 7 escalates. M roofs Vladimir to keep him longer, eventually chaining him to a chair for safety as he struggles to stand. The absurdity and tension are pitch-perfect black comedy. She admires his body, fantasizes about him, and uses his presence to fuel her writing. Episode 8. M wakes Vladimir, lies about their encounters, and manipulates the narrative to suit herself. She continues to navigate John's hearing, the fallout from her actions, and her obsession with Vladimir. But in the end, M chooses herself. A cabin fire, a metaphor for rebirth, forces her to act decisively. She saves both John and Vladimir, proving her ingenuity and independence. She completes her novel, inspired by the chaos and desire that has consumed her. M's relationships are clarified. Vladimir is revealed as a muse and not a long-term romantic partner. John, surprisingly, is the one who understands her twisted worldview. M embraces autonomy, power, and her creative drive. The finale is capped with Lizzo's Truth Hurts, underscoring M's triumphant self-actualization. Vladimir is more than a dark comedy. It's a masterclass in suspense, desire, and unreliable narration. M's direct addresses break the fourth wall, drawing viewers deep into her psyche. The film balances absurdity, humor, and tension, keeping you guessing. Every character, John, Vladimir, Cynthia, Sid, Leela, is morally complex, reflecting the show's themes of power, obsession, and desire. And ultimately, the story is about choice. M chooses herself, her creativity, and her autonomy over the chaos of men, desire, and societal expectations. From chained Vladimir to fiery self-liberation, Vladimir 2026 takes us on a ride that is funny, provocative, and utterly unpredictable. Ultimately, the story is about M reclaiming autonomy. The chaos, the affairs, the fantasies, they all lead her to a moment of clarity. She decides she doesn't need to choose between John and Vladimir. She's inspired, productive, and in control of her narrative, both literally, her manuscript, and figuratively, her life. The final scene mirrors the opening. M is in control, narrating directly to the audience, confident, cheeky, and unrepentant. The dramatic explosion at the end leaves the audience questioning. Did anyone die? No. Was it real or a narrative embellishment? The show never fully tells us. Classic Vladimir ambiguity. The destruction symbolizes the end of M's obsession, the purging of chaos, and the rebirth of her creative and personal agency. By leaving it open-ended, the show honors the unreliable narrator framework. M controls the story, and the audience must decide what is truth and what is her self-stylized fiction. So, did M get what she wanted? In a way, yes. She kept her mind sharp, her desires alive, and her story intact. Vladimir ends not with a love story, but with a story about herself. Unpredictable, messy, brilliant, and utterly in control. And that is the chaotic, hilarious, and thrilling brilliance of Vladimir 2026.